Yo guys, what's happening? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another video. Sorry I've been sort of away from YouTube. I've been super busy with loads of other things. But yeah, as promised, I'm filming a Q&A. So let's get into it. First question is, how do you get footballers to use your brand? Oh, everyone loves asking me this question. Everyone's always asking me like, oh, how do you get Raheem Sterling to use your brand? How do you get Heady One? How do you get all these celebrities, etc., etc.? So I think this will be a good one. I think this is a super helpful one. A lot of people, I feel like you guys expecting me to say like some sort of secret source or whatever to get these people, and like it's like a hidden underground type of thing, but it's really not. It's really a simple answer. And by the way, just to clarify, when I say get these people to use your brand, I don't mean like paying them to use it. You can of course obviously just contact people and pay them to do that, but I'm talking about actually like authentically like the brand and use it and talk about it and stuff like that. So the way I do that is, or the way you do that is, and I always talk about this word, it's all about value. So you have to bring a product or service that's very valuable to these people that will make them want to use it. So whether it saves them time, whether it makes them look better, whether it's something that makes them feel a certain type of way, it needs to be very, very unique. You can't be just another average product where they can just get anywhere else. Because you have to remember, with people like footballers, for example, they have a lot of money and they're very famous. So they get a lot of people asking them to do shout outs or this and that. And they get a lot of brands sort of reaching out to them. And they have a lot of money, so it's not actually a problem for them to sort of, like, free products isn't like a perk for them per se, not like sort of smaller influencers or whatever that that would be like sort of exciting to get free things. Footballers are on like 100k a week, so they don't care about free things. So you have to be unique. So for example, for a footballer, for us, the reason we get a lot of footballers is because, first of all, our stuff is personalized and it can be custom, especially when we do the hand painted stuff. So I don't know if you guys saw, but recently we did a custom case for Paul Pogba and the company that he's associated with. It's like a concierge company. So we did a hand painted, fully custom case for them. So when you do something completely custom, that is unique and that sort of invokes emotion to them, and so they like that type of thing. So that's something that can be of value to them. Another thing is that they like to look good because they're always in the public eye, paparazzi, etc., etc. So you need to come with designs or like a look that is sleek, that is clean, that is aesthetically pleasing to them. So that's another thing. So it's, once you get your product to be, very unique and very valuable, then you have to sort of contact people that are around them or close to them, or them directly as well, which is more difficult. But you start small. What you want, the overall strategy, I'd say, is to attract this. You don't want to be chasing people to check out your brand. You want to attract them. So in the example of footballers, we started off contacting academy players. So they usually have, smaller social media accounts, so they're easier to contact. And we'd be like, hey, check out our brand, we'd love to gift you something. And then usually they'd go for it if it's their style, obviously. And then they would post about it, they'd talk to friends about it, and then a couple of years time, boom, they're in the first team, they're in the dressing room. And other footballers that are in the first team that have millions of followers are like, oh, what brand is that? Or it just somehow makes its way into the conversation. When it's something custom or personalized, it catches people's eyes more rather than just like a generic product. But it works with any product as long as it's something that's valuable to them, something that looks nice, something that's a bit different, a bit unique. And so that's how your word of mouth sort of builds. So one player tells another player, then they contact us and buy from us, or we gift them one if they're sort of a high status player, and then sort of their friends and family see. It just builds up like a snowball effect, and before you know it, you've started with an academy player that plays for like Chelsea, for example, and then you've got players from like Liverpool and Man City contacting you, because all these footballers, they all know each other and they see each other on the weekend, play against each other, and everyone knows everyone. So it sort of just builds up and it takes a life of its own. At the same time, equally, if you have a mediocre product, you can have a negative word of mouth build up, and you send one to one person, he's like, I don't like this, it's not a good product, the quality is not there, it doesn't speak to them, it doesn't invoke any emotion, and then they sort of say negative things about your product to their friends, and then when you try and contact other footballers, they're gonna be like, nah, I've heard bad things about this. So it's all about, starts with the product, make sure it's something that can provide value. You have to be really self-aware, take an objective view and think, okay, if I was in this person's shoes, would I really be excited about buying this product? So, and I'm not sitting here saying that London's like this really valuable and amazing product. It's really good, but it's got a lot better to go, a lot more to go, and we can increase the quality, etc., and try and improve the design and do different things here and there to speak to more people. So you've just got to always keep improving. So that's it starts off with the product, and then you just have to reach out to smaller people. When I say smaller people, I mean like smaller on social media, or not quite as known in the industry. So whether that's celebrities, athletes, musicians, whatever, and then sort of hope that the word of mouth builds up. You have to try and put little talk triggers in there that make people talk. So for example, if it's custom, if you did something unique with the packaging that gets people talking. But yeah, that's how you do that. Next question is, did you do great at school in terms of education, and is uni worth it? Okay, did I do great at school? I feel like a lot of people expected me to say no, I didn't, and I hated school, and all that entrepreneur stuff. But I was actually good at school. Not because I was just like naturally smart or anything, it's just because whatever I'm doing, I like to put my full effort in. So even though I messed around in my younger years, I'd say GCSEs, A-levels, I put my head down and I got the grades. So I was an A student. But that doesn't mean that's why I'm doing a bit. That's not why I'm here. That's not why I have a brand. And I wouldn't say if you didn't do well, then you're going to be good at business or bad at business. I wouldn't say there's really a correlation. When I was younger, I did have like a little stint with having a couple of businesses, and I wanted to do that full time, but my parents sort of persuaded me, and not persuaded me, but they just encouraged me to do it, and I was like, all right, then I'll just do my schoolwork, whatever. And is university worth it? To be honest with you, with university, if you go in there, and I'm talking about sort of degrees that aren't to be a lawyer or a doctor or something where you need university, I'm talking about like business and things that are equivalent to that. I would say that it's not worth it in terms of the content you actually learn, because you can just Google stuff for free rather than paying $9,000 a year. In fact, I would rather pay $9,000 a year on a business that fails, because you'll learn a lot more from that than sort of theory and from lectures and textbooks and stuff. However, because I went to university in London and it was a decent university, the connections that you make are really good. And I'd say in terms of connections, university can be worth it. But again, it depends what situation you're in. If you're in the UK and you're going to take a student loan and you don't know whether to do a business or go to uni, I'd say just do both. You're smart enough and you can be organised enough to do both. I did both successfully, so you can do that. And that way, if say for example your business takes off, you can just drop out of university, so it's not a problem. So don't feel like you have to limit yourself and just do one, because you can do both at the same time. Equally, if you aren't taking a student loan and you're actually going to pay money from like your own money, then I'd say it's not worth it. I'd say go and try that business out. Even if it fails, you'll learn a lot more. I would do that, in my opinion. So, but you can do both. Don't feel like it's super like I won't have enough time to do both. You will if you're organised. 80-20 rule. Remember that. 80% of the results come from 20% of the input, so just focus on the 20% for both. So university, just focus on past papers and know how to do the exams. For business, just focus on the main parts or departments that drive revenue and growth. So for example, in e-commerce, it's probably marketing and product. So you've got a limited amount of time, just focus on getting a sick product and focus on marketing. The other things like the back end stuff, etc., that is important as well, but it can come secondary. Just focus on those two things and focus on exam season and past papers, and you'll do really well in both. And that way you won't feel like you've missed out on anything. Next question, where do you want to take London? Okay, my favorite question. I love talking about the future and sort of what I'm gonna do, and you know, it just gets me excited. And I feel like this is a genuine thing. If you don't get excited about what's coming in your life, then you need to change up what you're doing, because you should always be excited about what you're about to do, or the fruition of the things that you're doing right now, because that excites the hell out of me. Like, I have no idea, like in 1 year, in 2 years, like your life can completely change. It's just compounding your efforts over time. So where I want to take London, there's a couple of things that I want to mention. First of all, we're getting into bags. If you guys don't already know, I'll put up some pictures of bags here. So far, what our designs are looking like. So I want to do a backpack. I want to do a crossbody box shoulder bag, and we're designing our own motif pattern, so it won't just be like a croco design. So my aim for London is to be sort of the go-to brand for luxury accessories and bags that sort of complement whatever's in fashion at the time. So for example, for now, for men, cargo bottoms and the whole baggy shirts, baggy hoodies is really in right now. So we want to make bags that sort of go well with that and sort of complete your fit, but obviously to a luxury standard. So for the bags, I'm working on getting our bags to be sort of made in the same factories as Louis Vuitton, Ralph Lauren, Gucci, these kinds of brands. But I'm trying to make the price point as fair as possible. So I'm not going to be charging £1,000 for a backpack like those brands would. So I will try and make it more fair. So we're looking at the 200-300 mark. So you're going to get a lot of bag, a lot of quality, a lot of value, which is what I mentioned at the beginning, a lot of value for a very fair and accessible price point. I wouldn't say accessible. I think £200 for, you know, the average person is probably still a lot for a bag. But it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. But the quality is there, which is the most important thing. So that's one thing. Another thing is I want to focus on women's a lot more. I feel like I've really neglected that, because obviously I'm a guy and I'm interested in sort of stuff that I can use. But I'm really gonna push on and sort of market to and design things for women, because I do think they are by far the biggest spenders and they buy a lot more things. And you know, us guys, we're really simple. We just buy one thing and keep it for a while. And when we're not really out there, generally speaking. Whereas women, they're always buying, they're always upgrading, they always want new things, new bags, new this, new that. So right now we're working on a shoulder bag for women's, and we're gonna try and really cater to marketing more to women, and try and understand their point of view and understand what their wants and needs are, and try and meet those to a very good standard. So yeah, those are the main 2 points. Another thing is that I want to expand to the US. I feel like if you can, you know, be valuable enough to attract influential people in the US, such as the NBA players there or rappers there, then your brand's really onto something. So that's another thing. That's a bit further on. Right now I'm focusing on bags and sort of building out this whole bag and accessories collection for men, and pushing more for women. So that's where I want to take it next. But yeah, I think that's enough for this Q&A. Please do comment if you guys want me to do another Q&A or another video type or anything else. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you guys know when I upload. And if there's anything else you guys want to see or you want to ask me, comment or message me on Instagram. My Instagram will be tagged here. But yeah, I don't know, to be honest, if I'm gonna be like really consistent with YouTube, because it's very difficult, because I do have a lot going on, and this isn't like this is just an extra thing that I do just to sort of speak to you guys better and try and understand who my clients are and what they want and stuff. And you know, I'll try my best. We'll see. If you guys really like this stuff and you know I'm getting loads of likes and loads of comments, etc., then I'm gonna be a lot more motivated to do more. But we shall see. Thank you guys. Peace.